Hi, need a ride? Hop on in. I'm headed to Julia's Trucking Cafe. Come on, let's go. Cool, we made it just in time. Come on, let's go get a seat. Hey everybody, welcome to Julia's Trucking Cafe. Glad you made it. Hey, everybody looks good. Place is filling up. Come on in. We have some seats down here in front. Everybody get something to drink? Great. Now, as usual, I have lots of news to cover, so let's get right to it. A state renovates a busy rest stop, and they add 250 more parking places. 250 semi-truck parking spots will be added between Tulsa and Oklahoma City during an upcoming rest stop renovations. The Stroud service area on the Turner Turnpike, almost exactly halfway between Tulsa and Oklahoma City, will undergo some serious renovations in the next several years as a part of an initiative to improve safety in that area. That service area, as it is now, is going away, quote unquote, said an Oklahoma Turnpike Authority spokesman Jack Damrell. Damrell explained that when the rest stop was built, the speed limit on the turnpike was only 55 miles an hour. But now that the speed limit's set at 75 and the possibility for it to be set as high as 80 looming in the future, the state needs to consider how to better serve the citizens traveling on the turnpike. He says you have high-speed traffic merging with low-speed traffic in the left lane. When traffic from the service area merges onto the turnpike, that curve is dangerous, end quote. The current service area has become congested with semi-tractor-trailer parking, and its outdated design isn't safe for motorists, he adds. The Oklahoma Turnpike Authority plans to straighten the highway on the south end of the current rest stop and add a building for the McDonald's and E-Z-Go convenience stores already found at the location. That location will then only be accessible by westbound traffic heading to Oklahoma City. However, another new service area for the eastbound travelers heading towards Tulsa will be built along the Turner Turnpike just 4 miles east of the Chandler exit, and will also house a McDonald's and an E-Z-Go convenience store. Each of these new rest stops will also boast 125 truck parking spots, adding a total of 250 truck parking spots along the stretch of that turnpike, tripling the current amount of truck parking spots available in the area, which is only around 75. And they have a map in this article. When you access the article that I'll have in the show notes, you go on to our website at juliastruckcafe.com, go under the cafe menu, and you will see a page of show notes. Just look for this episode, and there's a map in this article. Damrell says that he has experienced the current lack of sufficient semi-truck parking firsthand when traveling through the area earlier this year. Quote, there were semi-trucks parked on the entry ramp. They were parked on the exit ramp. It was a mess. Well, guess what, dude? Welcome to our trucking world, is what I got to say. We have to take safety into consideration, he said. Traffic for us is growing. Safety is always our number one concern, end quote. The project was approved last year, and construction on the new service area has already begun, but the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority has yet to release a time frame of completion of the whole thing. The estimated cost of the whole total build is $16 million and will be funded by the tolls that we pay on the Oklahoma Turnpike. So finally, it's nice to see, I don't know about everybody else, but for me, it's nice to see that the money that I spent on the Oklahoma Turnpike will finally be going into some good use. Now, in other news, a trucker is crushed by a soundproof wall at a roadside construction site. Now, you know what they're talking about here. You know, so along some of the interstates, you see those walls that are kind of graduated down and they look like artificial rock or whatever. And on the other side, they have a lot of bushes and stuff like that, but it's mainly like a housing development or a subdivision or something. They're soundproofing walls. That's what they're talking about. If you're not familiar and you're new out here, that's what they're talking about. A truck driver was killed after a piece of soundproof wall fell on top of him at a construction site in North Carolina. This happened just Monday. The accident happened at around 9:20 at a North Carolina Transportation Department project along U.S. Highway 421 in Winston-Salem, near Peace Haven Road. According to the Winston-Salem Journal, 37-year-old truck driver Amory Alexis Glover was in the process of removing the straps from his load of soundproof wall panels when one of the pieces fell off of the truck and crushed him, killing him on site. Glover was self-employed via Creekside Transport, but was driving for Total Quality Logistics at the time. The construction zone is part of a project to widen the highway, which started in June of 2018 and is expected to be complete in September of this year, 2019. Quote, it's allow more traffic flow through the air there and allow for safety and traffic improvements, end quote, said Steve Abbott, Assistant Director of Communications for the North Carolina Department of Transportation. It was a typical work zone. So see, for the people that are my listeners that are not truck drivers, our industry and our jobs are very dangerous. I mean, he was just unstrapping his load and it was sliding or something. And those are heavy, you know, they need a crane to pick them up and place them. So they're pretty doggone heavy. It didn't say how many pounds or you know, that slab was, but it's pretty doggone heavy for him to be crushed. Now, in other news, UPS is going to start using Toyota's hydrogen semi-trucks later this year. Toyota has a new hydrogen fuel-powered semi-truck, which it unveiled this week, and the company says it's ready to be put to work. Toyota's Project Portal, a project which applies zero-emission hydrogen fuel cell technology to commercial trucks, it's been around since 2017. But it wasn't until this year that the project directors were confident enough send their hydrogen fuel-powered trucks out into the world. The hydrogen fuel-powered trucks were developed with the help of Kenworth, and the first fleet of 10 are scheduled to debut at various trucking companies around Los Angeles. Of course, where they have the most emission problems. And they'll be debuted and scheduled to start by the end of the year. 4 of these trucks will operate out of Toyota Logistics Services, where they will help move Toyota vehicles and products between ports in LA and Long Beach. 3 will be operated by UPS, and 2 will be operated by Total Transportation Services. And 1 will go to Southern Counties Express. These are all in the Los Angeles area. These zero-emission semi-trucks utilize a hydrogen fuel cell powertrain, which converts compressed hydrogen gas into electricity, and then there isn't any exhaust. It only emits water after the hydrogen gas turns back into oxygen and all of that chemical reaction and everything. I worry about the chemical reaction part of it, but it turns it into electricity, and then only it emits water for a byproduct. So this combined with battery gives the big rigs a range of just over 300 miles. So we don't have to worry that they're going to be over the road because they can only go short hauls about 300 miles. Phew. Which Toyota says is about twice the average distance a truck of this kind can expect to travel in a single day. Shell says it plans to construct 2 major hydrogen fueling stations in California, in addition to the 2 already there, in order to help make these zero-emission trucks a reality. Toyota says that it plans to go even greener by replacing all of its trucks, tractors, and forklifts with its own hydrogen-fueled versions, which are already in production, eliminating carbon dioxide emissions at its Port of Long Beach facility by 2050. So let's see, that would be another, what am I thinking, 31 years? Am I right on that? In my math, I'm trying to do the math in my head real fast, being like half awake while I'm recording this. And I'm also recording this at beautiful downtown Rolla, Missouri is where I'm at this week. Everybody, I want to interrupt the articles and the news for just a second, but if you wouldn't mind letting me know where you're at when the show comes out, that would be really huge. Any of my listeners, let me know where you're at. Let me know where you don't have to necessarily let me know where you're going, but, where are you at? Or Missouri or Ohio or any place like that. So give a shout out. That would be great. So a pilot in New Jersey caught on fire, and it's closed until further notice. This happened Monday night. The fire began around 11:15 on Monday in Bloomsbury, New Jersey. I have been to that pilot. According to the New Jersey News, when firefighters arrived at the Pilot Travel Center on Route 173, just off of Route 78 at Exit 7, flames could be seen from the bathroom and shower area where the fire had begun. Oh, how is the bathroom and shower area going to start on fire? First responders were able to put out the fire and prevent it from spreading. The Flying J has since announced that the location will be closed until further notice. They tweeted this out, and it was on the 23rd. They tweeted this out. In the meantime, the company has advised travelers in the area to use a nearby pilot less than 7 miles away in Clinton, New Jersey. The incident is still under investigation by the New Jersey State Fire Marshal. So it could be arson. If the fire marshal is involved and they're still investigating, it's a possibility that it could be arson. Now, some sad news. A trucker is shot and killed after stopping for a motorist. This is why, back in the day, we used to stop for people that were broke down, or especially women with little children or anything like that that had a flat tire. I've known truck drivers to stop and help them out and everything, and we're always praised for being a good Samaritan. And then you have stories, sad to say, like this, that really deters me from stopping and helping somebody out. A truck driver was shot and killed on Thursday morning, April 18th, after pulling over on the side of Interstate 20. A 56-year-old California-based truck driver, and I will not pronounce his name, it is just long and I don't want to butcher it, was traveling eastbound on Interstate 20 near Westbrook, Texas, when a car began flashing its lights from behind him. The truck driver pulled over onto the side of the interstate after noticing the car repeatedly flashing its lights. After leaving his vehicle, he was shot from behind and he died at the scene. His driving partner was also shot and was rushed to the closest medical center where he is expected to recover. Texas troopers arrested a 20-year-old suspect, Brandon Christopher Madrid, at the scene. He had been charged with murder, aggravated assault, causing serious bodily injury, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and is being held on a $700,000 bond. That's not high enough. I'm sorry. Texas DPS says that a motive for the shooting is not clear and is likely that the truck driver never knew what hit him. This still remains under investigation. Now, for our top story, police use a drone to show how serious they are about the move over enforcement. So beware, guys and gals. They are now starting to use drones to catch speeders, to catch people that won't move over when a officer or emergency vehicle's on the side of the road. And you know yourself, they're small. You're not going to be able to see them. Law enforcement officers across Illinois are ramping up move-over enforcement after 3 troopers were killed during traffic stops just this year alone. An Illinois sheriff has shared unique drone footage showing just how quickly and efficiently they are pulling over drivers who fail to move over for emergency vehicles. One note, don't forget, y'all, our semi-trucks are rolling billboards. They don't have no problem trying to find your butt. They could zoom in on your tag, besides all sorts of signs plastered all over your truck. They don't have a problem finding you. You can run, but you can't hide. Back to the article. On Monday, April 15th, tax day, the Clark County Sheriff's Office shared a video clip featuring a major move-over, or, as it's known, Scott's law enforcement detail. In this video, you could see police pulling over a semi and a passenger vehicle. Clark County Sheriff's Office says they caught 10 drivers in violation of Scott's law in just 2 hours. Let me repeat that. They said they caught 10 drivers in violation of Scott's law in just 2 hours. Law enforcement agencies across Illinois are ramping up Scott's law enforcement after 16 state troopers were hit by vehicles while performing traffic stops just this year. 3 of those troopers did not make it. And in other news, in Ohio, a semi-truck overturned and fell off of a Cincinnati overpass on 471. In this article at the bottom, again, that'll be in the show notes, and this show will be entitled State Police Use Drone to Catch Violators, will be the name of this show. Dramatic video of a semi-truck overturning on Interstate 471 overpass in Cincinnati Wednesday shows a semi-load shift, causing the trailer and the cab to fall over the bridge. 2 people are hospitalized with serious injuries, and according to the Cincinnati Fire Department, the truck rolled off the overpass from northbound I-471 to 3rd Street in Mount Adams, landing upside down at the bottom of another road. Approximately 30 rescue crew members worked for nearly an hour to remove the 2 people who were trapped inside, and they were transported to an area hospital. And last but not least, cargo theft trends shift as thieves alter their approach. Now, this is from Overdrive magazine. Cargo theft trends have begun to shift through the first quarter of 2019, with thieves taking different approaches to stealing cargo, according to cargo theft recording firm CargoNet. The firm outlined 2 notable trends from its cargo theft data from the first quarter. Loaded trailer burglaries, or pilferages, should be viewed as a growing threat and are becoming the preferred method of stealing cargo in some parts of the country, and fictitious pickup activity is resurging after 2 years of being dormant. The firm reports that in the first quarter of 2019, there was a total of 140 cargo thefts, 22% decrease from 2018's first quarter. CargoNet also notes that the average cargo value per theft during the quarter was $145,772 for a total estimated cost of all of the thefts, $12.8 million. Food and beverage items are the most stolen during 2019's first quarter. Despite seeing a 22% year-over-year decrease, household, cargo, and electronics were the second and the third most stolen items. California say that most cargo theft activity during the quarter, with the 32 reported thefts, a 44% decrease from 2018's first quarter. Florida and Texas saw the second and third most thefts, with 17 and 16 respectively. CargoNet notes that there has been a significant increase of cargo thefts in Alabama, due in large part to an influx of pilferages in the Selma, Alabama area. Cargo thefts are down 19% since 2018, another one says. This episode of Julia's Truck and Cafe is brought to you by Julia's Virtual Assistant Service. Do you know what a virtual assistant is? Have you ever used one? Well, if not, contact Julia's Virtual Assistant Service by visiting their website at juliasvirtualassistantservice.com for all of your mundane tasks that you just hate doing. Are you a truck driver that needs to turn in receipts, or owner-operator that needs to turn in receipts to his accountant? Do you have mundane tasks that you hate doing? Well, hand them over to Julia's Virtual Assistant Service and concentrate on the things that you enjoy doing. They do transcription, bookkeeping, website design, social media marketing, and a bunch more. So contact Julia's Virtual Assistant Service by visiting their website at juliasvaservice.com. That's juliasvaservice.com. juliasvaservice.com for all of your virtual assistant needs. Also, I want to make an announcement that we now have an online store. Right now I have some electronics up for GPS and dash cams, and going to be going into like CB stuff, mainly for the new drivers and stuff, trying to save you all a little bit of money than purchasing out in the truck stops. And also, I have one kind of t-shirt up now, and ladies' tops and tanks and sweatshirts and hoodies. I'm going to be producing some more, designing some more in the future, so keep stopping back. I'll make an announcement in Julia's Trucking Cafe regulars first, usually, and then the next day I'll do it on the Facebook page, also on Twitter, where you can find us as well. Also, I ask that you would subscribe to our email list, and you'll get the show notes every week in your inbox that you don't have to keep coming back and trying to hunt them down on the website. So please stop by our new online store and also subscribe to our email list, and I will also be able to announce new things that are coming into the store or specials or anything like that. I greatly appreciate all of my listeners. We are also on Spotify, Spreaker. Let's see, where else am I at? iTunes, Google Play Store, a whole bunch of other places. I'm kind of off the cuff today. I apologize about that. I'm trying to take an 8-hour break at the moment. I got a couple hours left. I was trying to squeak in this episode, so it's kind of going to be like a little bit mishmashed. Lee is coming up here in just a second. I wanted to get all this in first. So, and now for Lee's Bullshed. Hey Lee, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I've been looking for that Easter bunny and I ain't seen him yet.
Have you stocked up on jelly beans?
Jelly beans, I've been looking for Easter eggs, and he didn't come see me. That's all I got to say, because I looked all over this truck. I didn't find no eggs. So.
Well, in a way, that could be a good thing.
Well, I think I might have made him mad the other day when I was leaving out. He was running around out there in the field, and I was kind of chasing him. So I guess I made him mad at me. So, oh well.
Yeah, you chasing that cottontail again, huh?
Yeah, well, this
week we're going to do something just a little bit different. I want to share with the audience, not really a truck driving story that, oh boy, you ain't going to believe this one, but just how an incident occurred while I was out on the road and with a newer driver out here. I was going eastbound on Pennsylvania Turnpike over there in Pennsylvania. And we got off in Carlisle, and I was behind a large carrier. I won't say the name, but the young man was Latino, and I come up behind him pretty quick, and I didn't see no brake lights go on. Well, I followed him through the toll booth and everything, come up to the stoplight right before the Petro there in Carlisle, and sure as a world, no brake lights at all. And I didn't think he knew about it, so I followed him into the Petro. I'm sure he thought I was stalking him for this old granny following him around the parking lot until he finally was going to park someplace, and I parked about 3 or 4 truck parking places down from him. I walked over to him, and I told him that he was speaking kind of broken English. I talked to him, and I told him, I said, "You don't have no brake lights." And he kind of looked at me strange, and he said, "No." And I said, "No brake lights." I says, "Go push on your brake pedal, and let's double check for sure." And he got in his truck, started it up, and sure as world, no brake lights whatsoever. I said, "You come back here and look." And, so he believed me, and he had this bewildered look in his eye that he saw that he did not have any brake lights, and he's like, "Oh no, now what?" He didn't say it, but that was just that look that come across his face. So I commenced, it was a Volvo, and I'm used to running them, and we dropped the hood, and I commenced to show him where the fuse box was, and he didn't have no tools, no fuses, no nothing with them. I went to my truck, I got some spare fuse, I like using needle nose pliers and to pull out them fuses, and I went and changed it out for him. He was greatly appreciative and stuff, and I even gave him one of those little plastic pullers that I had brand new in a package that I really didn't need. And those are the kind of stories that why I'm out here, besides delivering the commodities that consumers need, from Walmart to food to oil-soaked pellets for people to heat their homes, those kind of things, to helping other drivers out here on the road, and in a nice way, and not saying, hey, look, jackass, you ain't got no doggone brake lights. What the heck's the matter with you? Don't come at them like that. And just be like an instructor, be like a teacher. He was only in that truck for 3 days. Didn't know nothing about it. Do you happen to have a story like that you could share, Lee?
Well, the thing of it is, I do. I was sitting over at Truckstop one night, and this young lady out there, she kept sliding her tags. And I kept watching her, and she'd go back, lay, kept sliding. So basically, I got tired of watching it, and I went over and asked her. I said, hey, I'm not trying to move forward. I said, can I help you with this? She looked at me and she said, you've been driving a long time. I said, well, I've been out here a day or two anyway. So anyway, she showed me a weight scale. I said, okay, we need to go forward. We got her all situated, and she said, can I have your phone number? Well, wait a minute, I don't know about that. She said, no, she said, I'm new out here, as you can tell, and maybe if I kind of get attacked, maybe I could send you a text or ask you a question. You mind? So I thought, well, okay. So I went ahead and did it. So anyway, every now and then I hear from her, and she asks me a question, and I help her, and she comes back and thank me, all the time. Just really appreciate it. And I don't mind helping people like that. It don't bother me at all.
Right.
But a lot of these companies now, they tell these drivers, do not work on the truck. Now, which nowadays I can understand that, but, years ago, we had to work on our trucks. And I've continued that to do what I can do. It's just part of it, man. I've been doing it for so many years, but that's what they do. They tell all these new drivers, do not touch the truck. And more than likely, they didn't even tell him what to do if something's wrong with the truck.
Well,
so,
now, I was also told that it is a requirement under DOT that you have to carry a package of fuses. Now, when I say that I knew how to fix it is because I got shut down for the same exact reason. I didn't have any brake lights. The first thing the nice lady DOT officer looked at me and said, are you sure it's not a fuse? And I kind of looked at her going, no, because they were just working when I did my pre-trip. She goes, okay. And she wrote me a doggone ticket for not having brake lights, shut me down until I could fix it right there on the spot. And I dropped the hood, checked the fuse. Lo and behold, it was a blown fuse. I could have avoided having a ticket. He would have been in the same predicament if I didn't help him. And he's not a company driver. He's buying that truck from this company, lease purchase again. So, he was kind of on his own, and he said he just got in the truck, But you have to know the basics. I'm not saying overhaul the motor or change belts or change a big old air filter or fuel filters or brake chambers or something like that. But, to change a simple fuse or a light bulb, you kind of have to know how to especially if you're on a tight, delivery time.
Exactly. But the thing of it is, like I said, we didn't want a lot of them working. But DOT, if they want to push it, you better have a spare fuse for every fuse in that truck. If they want to push it, that is DOT. They can push it if they want to, but every time I've ever had it done, they just ask me, and I'd say, yes, sir, I got it, or whatever. And, it wasn't no problem. If I want to show it to them, I will, But that is one thing about it. But like I said, these companies now, there's so many people out here, they don't even know what a fuse is.
Right.
Nowadays, they don't know what a fuse is. And honest to God, I wouldn't want them working on my truck, if you know what I mean. I think I'd pass on that one right there. But a lot of them, they don't know that they're posted over the shop, or, a lot of them just push them out the door. You can drive a truck, start hauling freight. Well, there's more to it than that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then when you're only in school for a week, and then you're with a trainer for another 11 days, a whole total of 18 days, they don't go through all that stuff because it doesn't happen to them when they're with the trainer. So
Exactly.
brake lights being out or turn signal being out, or now a lot of these trailers now, they have those sealed bulbs, or there's LED bulbs or something like that it's got to be a fuse, because those really don't go out. They last for years and years and years now, and those lights are sealed. They're not the pop-out kind anymore. They got that metal ring that's riveted in on the back of a trailer. So you can't even fix on it, if you wanted to.
Well, no, you talking about those bull rings on there. I was going in to pick up a load of celery. And celery, most of the time, you're right there about where it's growed is where you pick it up. They come in and clean it up, do whatever, This old boy on this radio telling me, and I'm coming down through there and on these dirt roads, and it was dark, and he kept telling me, go back this other way. Well, I kept going back the other way. I got down there and run out of the road.
Yeah.
And it's darker than I'll get out. I went back there and I popped all the bull rings loose off my lights. Man, I lit it up like a Christmas tree. I never did find out who that was telling me that, because I was wanting to thank him in person, if you know what I mean. But that's how, when I did all that, because I had a spotlight on my truck too, but it dropped that whole back end, that truck up. I could see just like it was daylight backing it up, but we ain't going to do that now. That's for sure. You ain't going to do it. So that's like that.
Now, a lot of the ones that I'm seeing now, I think they're on the Freightliners, if I'm not mistaken, is they have those LED lights on the cab extenders that are mounted on the outside that you could, when you put your load lights on, they run down the side of the trailer from the cab extender. I know you've seen them. I've seen a few of them like that, but I only see them, I think they're on Freightliners, the last one I see them on, that they're right into the load lights.
Well, they went crazy with these lights. They got so many of them now. It ain't like the old day, 1156, 1157. Everything's, LED. And, I had one guy out on trailer trying to get it changed, and they're riveted in there. You got to drill them out and all that kind of stuff to put them in there, which a lot of that is the reason that everybody, when the radio started going on, they carried trailers down there and come back and they went out no lights in them, so that's where that come from.
Yeah, and the headlights even, they went from a H1 or whatever to xenon there for a few years, like 2015s and stuff. Went to, in KWs and Peterbilts, I know, they went to a xenon bulb, which is a real skinny looking, hourglass looking bulb with a little copper or brass bar next to it, like electrode. And then you have capacitor or something? I may have the terminology wrong. Those doggone bulbs alone are $100 a piece, and you can only get them at the dealer or Napa carries them.
They sure are. I keep having problems, well, not all the time, but Freightliner, when your brakes are pushed in, your two signal turn light things, they come on going down the road. And I'm constantly having to change them things out because they run all the time, when you're going down the road. It's constant. I got down there this winter, and it's just a little plastic deal you got to twist and pop it out, and the bulb's in there. Okay. Well, it's kind of hard to twist it out when it's frozen in there, you know what I mean? So,
right, or corroded.
Okay. Huh?
Or corroded, if it's corroded in there too.
Yeah, it will, but it was frozen in there. So I messed around with it while I finally got it loose, but it was frozen in there. But that's enough right there. DOT, see that stopped it. Yeah. You got to light it, but it work. You know, just prevent it all you can. Prevent it all you can. So,
and something I've learned in the last 6-8 months or so too is that, I never noticed it before, is that when you have your Jake brakes on, the brake lights are coming on the trailer. I never really paid attention and noticed it before. And I'm like, why is this guy riding his brakes down the hill? You're always thinking of that, you know? He's got to be a new driver riding his brakes down the hill. And it was pointed out to me that when you got the Jake brakes on, now as a safety feature, your brake lights are coming on. I went, don't that beat all hell?
Yeah, that's like if you notice on some of the back of trailers, you know, your little clearance slats, you know, go across the top.
Yeah.
They turn the signal on. Sometimes some of them flash.
Yeah.
Some of them do, some of them don't. Ours don't. We have the little ones on our trailer, and they don't flash or like when you hit your brake lights either, you know. But some of them do, which I kind of think that's kind of neat. You know, that's just more stuff. You know, blinky, means I'm gonna turn. You know.
Right. Well, yeah. It catches your attention. To go, what in the world are there? Oh, okay, he's got a turn signal on, you know. If your, mind is wandering or, whatever the case may be, listen to our podcast or something. So, but anyway.
Well, sometimes I don't think they realize what the blinky means. Good Lord, you know, so. But that's just part of it.
Most of them don't even know what that arm is underneath the steering wheel on the left-hand side anyway, let alone, using it.
That is the truth right there. But I tell you that yesterday and today, I swear everybody in the sun is out traveling around, and it's been rough. It's been rough. I mean, I got out up there to D.C., I was looking at the front of my truck. Oh boy, they said, what's wrong? I said, I'm looking for a sign. He said, a sign? I said, yeah. What are you talking about? I said, a sign says, please cut in front of me. So anyway, that's what I was looking for, but it's been pretty rough. It has. Rougher than normal, I'll tell you that.
You were looking for that Easter bunny, and so is everybody else since it's Easter weekend.
Exactly. But what kills me, like over there at D.C., they redone some stuff the way they want traffic to come in and out of the D.C. And they got signs up and everything else, and I was just sitting there a while ago watching, and maybe about 1 out of 5 would actually do what they're supposed to do. You know, and I thought, come on, people, the signs right there, just go on and do what they want you to do and be done with it, you know, but they gotta do their own thing, I guess, so.
Are you supposed to read those? Oh, I knew I was doing something wrong. Dang it!
Yeah, really. Yep, you're supposed to read them signs, and it says, go straight. I mean, a big sign says, go straight. Do not turn. The first thing they do is just turn. I got a kick out of watching them do it, so anyway, I told that one guy, they was explaining that, we got a new system here. I looked at that guy and I said, they'll write you a ticket if you don't do that, you know, just cause he looked at me and I laughed. I said, no, I'm serious. Really? I said, yeah. So I said, one of them scared to go, they'll write you a ticket. I said, you see that right there? She watches, you hear me? So she gets on me all the time, and I ain't even doing nothing wrong. I said, but that's just in nature. So
yeah, they just like picking on poor Lee over there.
Yeah, no, I tell you, they do. They like picking up. I don't care. It's all good. So
it's all in fun good. Anyway. So you be all right. But
yeah.
Thank you again for joining us. We're just going to have, since it's Easter Sunday and everything Easter this last weekend, we're going to cut it a little bit short this time. But I greatly appreciate you working over the holiday weekend, and you keep the shiny side up, and we'll be talking to you next time.
All right. Well, everybody out there, I appreciate y'all listening, and y'all be safe out there, and God bless everybody.
So everyone, please keep it safe out there. Keep the shiny side up. And until next week...